So, Leicester Tigers 35, Stormers 26. Never in doubt, right? Yeah, it was a little bit closer than I think a lot of us were expecting, especially with the teams that both sides put out. Stormers obviously sending up their B team from South Africa. Thought it'd be quite comfortable, but credit to them. Their B team / C team, they were very, very good. They made it very difficult for us to play the game we wanted to play. They played very well, they kicked well. Their set piece, especially their scrum, was dominant almost. They were, fair play to them. They made it very difficult for us, but we managed to come away with the 5 points, which maybe shows that even though we were poor and we just weren't at it for large parts of the 80 minutes, to come away with 5 points probably shows that we are quite a good team, that we can come through the poor middle quarter or so of the game still to come away with 5 points is good. It is obviously a good thing, and obviously puts us top of the table in Group 4 of the pool of death. Right, let's get into the game itself. Well, just before the game actually, brilliant to see Gorgeous George and Jack Van Portfleet out warming up. I think George looked like he was taking part of the full warm-up to me. I would not be surprised to see him next week against Stad. He looked fit and firing and taking part of the full forwards warm-up. Jack was obviously brilliant to see him, but he was more kind of doing his own thing for large parts, doing a lot of running on his own. But to just see him out there is absolutely brilliant. I wasn't expecting to see him until good chunk into January, whereas now there's, especially with what McKellar said after the game, could see him before Christmas, could see him in that New Year's Eve game. Absolutely fabulous to see them two back out on the field. Obviously, again, Anthony Watson was warming up. Hopefully we see him back maybe next week, maybe against Exeter. But yeah, obviously great to see those three back in the warm-up. Onto the game. To be fair, the opening 15, we were very good. I think we started well. Good counter attack off stolen lineouts, something that we did quite often, steal a couple of their lineouts. And then I think Stormers conceded the penalty a few phases later, and Pollard knocked it over, no mistake, as we've come accustomed to with his brilliant boot. But then Stormers got their first points. I think it was Chesham who took their line out jumper in the air, and they slide it over. But then first try in 15 minutes, it was simple as can be, wasn't it? Scrum, was it about 5 metres out? And very well done by Andre. He came to the blind side to make it a 2-on-1, but I think it was their scrum half called maybe it was their fly half across to the blind side, so that drew them across. And then obviously Visa took the pick, went the other way, passed on to Kata, and I think, I'm not sure who he was up against, maybe the 12 and 13 or maybe the wing, and he just went straight between the two of them and went over. Absolutely brilliant, simple play. If you've got a player like Kata at 12, then you might as well use him. Give him the ball on first phase and he's going to do damage, and as he did, went over. Very easy, great start. But then we kind of just fell apart for that second quarter of the first half. We were making so many unforced errors, very similar to how we started the season. Players like Freddie Stewart making numerous amounts of drop balls and forced errors, things we're just not accustomed to seeing on Big Fred. I think Visa made a few errors. Just the big players made quite a few errors. It was just, very disappointing. And then from the base of a scrum, I think it was 5 metres out, Visa kind of knocked on, but didn't actually go forward. But once he gathered the ball again, he was held up and they won the scrum 5 metres out. And from there, their number 8 made a great carry off the base of the scrum. Went over for their first try of the game, and we were just poor, continued to be poor, and they got into the lead on the stroke of half time. Another enforced error, the ball kind of just almost squirted out of the back of the scrum. Their scrum half kicked through, and fair play to him, he had some wheels on him. He was beating Hassel Collins there. Grabbed the ball and made a brilliant offload to Skosan. He crossed. I'm sure that made him very happy after the the time he's had at Welford Road in recent times. He had a very good game, to be honest. He made it really hard for Freddie Stewart at the back. He was jumping up a lot for the high balls. But yeah, they crossed before half time. So it's Tigers 10, Stormers 17 at half time. And it was just a bit flat on the pitch. I feel like the crowd was quite flat. It was quite quiet for large parts of that first half. As I already said, a lot of poor errors, a lot of poor and forced errors from players that are normally 8 and 9 out of 10 clubs. And I'm presuming McKellar gave it a lot of chat at half time. I don't think he's usually that type of coach, but I'm sure he got stuck into them quite a bit in that half time break. So you're expecting a big response after half time, and I think we did get that. Pollard knocked over another penalty on the 42nd minute, and then on the 48th minute we got a great team try almost. I think it was another stolen line out, maybe Liebenberg this time. Ball got shipped across to the right wing. Bassett made a brilliant carry, cutting in from the right, then it went the other way, and it kind of almost fumbled. I think maybe Dan Kelly fumbled, but sometimes when that happens, it almost makes more chance. The defender's not sure what to do, and that's what happened. I think ball got to Liebenberg, who passed out to Tassel Collins, who made a great carry, and then passed in to Kata, who went over for his second. Exactly the type of play that we want to see with this McKellar style. Backs hands on ball, running from deep, running from the halfway line. Yeah, it was an absolute brilliant try. But then Stormers hit back with a lovely drop goal. Don't get many of them anymore, especially when it's not like at the end of the game trying to get a win or trying to get a losing bonus point or something like that. Just a planned drop goal manoeuvre, very South African like. Good to see that from them. And then Pollard and Matty traded pens. And then Stormers got a yellow card. I think it was like a 2-man tackle on Visa. Potentially could have both got yellow. I think yellow was the right call, though, not a red card for me. And then soon after, Pollard scored a try, our third of the game. Lenny kicked over from the base of a ruck, and Dan Kelly caught the ball on the rebound, and then went through a phase. And then the ball got passed out. I think Harry Wells did very well not to drop the ball, but he passed on to Andre Pollard, who went over. Probably one of the first ever try assists from Harry Wells. Fair play to him. But then Mate got another penalty, and then I was starting to get a bit nervous then, because I think they had a scrum inside our 22, and I was like, we're actually going to throw this away. We are going to lose to Stormers B-side, and our European journey would have been over already. But we won the penalty, scrum penalty, something that didn't go our way throughout the game, the scrum, but in that moment it did go our way, and that was obviously brilliant. So we cleared our lines, and then a few minutes later, Clayton Blumenchies, who obviously played for us a few years ago, kicked out on the dead, and then we got the scrum, won the penalty, kicked to the corner, and yeah, just a brilliant try. I think maybe we won a penalty again and then kicked to the corner actually, but then I think we were on penalty advantage, ball got shipped out, went to Pollard, and then fair play to Shawcock. I think that was the first time he'd actually touched the ball after coming on. He came on at like the 78th minute, put out an absolute peach of a pass to Josh Bassett, and he did the rest in the corner. Nearly knocked on. That had been typical of the game, but he held on and went into the corner and got the bonus point try. Yeah, I think as the commentators said, don't think it was fully deserved. Really don't think Stormers deserved to go away empty-handed after how difficult they made it for us throughout the 80 minutes. They could easily have won if that scrum had gone another way inside our 22. But credit to us, we kept at it, we kept knocking away, and we also got that bonus point try, which could be absolutely huge in terms of trying to get out of the pool of death. I think if we can maybe get something against Stad next week, maybe somehow beat Leinster at home, and then I think we could actually get into the knockout stages. But yeah, it wasn't the performance we were after. As I've already said, lots of enforced errors. I think maybe because obviously the players would have seen the team, seen that it was a B team for Stormers that you kind of expected to win, expected to get the 5 points. And obviously when your mind's not fully at it, it obviously can tell. Maybe that was the attitude we got into. It's obviously it's easy to happen, but yeah, scrum was disappointing. Fair play to Stormers. I think they won a good few penalties off our feed, and off their own feed they won a few. There's just so many unforced errors, so many of, yeah, as I've said already, just like the Bristol Sale game, it was going back to those levels of unforced errors. But we got the 5 points. Wasn't the performance we wanted, but 5 points, great way to start the Champions Cup campaign. On to the standouts, Ollie Chesham again. I thought he was very, very good. Again at the line-out, stole quite a few. I think him and Hanro stole a good few of their line-outs, something that went really well today. Harry Wells, I thought, was really good when he came on. Obviously hope that Cam Henderson's, does it look like maybe an ankle, maybe a knee injury. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, but I thought Harry had a very good game when he came on. And obviously he got his try assist just about. Josh Bassett, I think, had probably his best game in the Tigers shirt so far. Took his try well, chased the kicks hard all afternoon, and there was a lot of kicks. I think we kicked about 40 plus times. Yeah, he was very good, made a good few carries as well. Solomon Akata, 2 tries, just a brilliant player, brilliant signing for us. I think we play our best attacking rugby with him at 12. Just, yeah, superb carrier. Just seems like a player that's really, really hard to tackle. It's got low centre of gravity, quite small, as in height-wise, but otherwise is very built. His legs are just ridiculous. But yeah, I think he had a very, very good game. But player of the match has got to be Andre Pollard. Just what a man. He was absolutely phenomenal yet again. 20 points, 1 try. I think missed just the 1 kick, but some of his kicks he made were brilliant and very much needed at the time. Made a good few carries as well today. It's not afraid to get stuck in, especially to the Stormers' defence, which were very physical, but he did not shy away. Yeah, what's more to say really? He just had an absolute superb game. One of the main reasons we won in the end. Yeah, just super happy that he plays for Tigers. It is absolutely just amazing, isn't it? Yeah, he's definitely player of the match for me, Andre Pollard. But yeah, as I already said, great way to start the Champions Cup campaign. Top of Pool 4 as things stand. Probably not going to stand too much longer, but we can enjoy it while it is. Obviously, we're the only team that got the 5 points this weekend in our pool. Yeah, if we can somehow get some in against Stad next week. I know they lost quite heavily to Sale today, but all the French teams are very different when they play at home. It's going to be a very tough place to get anything, but we're on a bit of form now. 4 wins on the trot, 3 bonus point wins on the trot as well. So yeah, players playing well, good bit of form, good bit of momentum, and you just never know. You never know. I don't think many of us would have backed us to beat Bordeaux away a couple of years ago, and we did that. So you just never know. You never know what can happen. But yeah, great 5 points. On to Stad next week.